Sometimes we try to move forward, to take action, to build a new reality, and still feel like we're dragging invisible chains behind us. We make plans, but something deeper sabotages them. We want peace, but the old reactions come back, and we don't understand why. It feels like something beneath our control is pulling the strings, and in truth, it is. Because long before results are created outside, a world is being shaped inside. A world of sensations, expectations, and meanings that we rarely stop to notice. We try to change our behavior but ignore the beliefs behind it. We chase success but carry anxiety. We seek connection but react from old wounds. And it's not because we're broken, it's because we're unconscious of the real source. Emotions are not random. They are born from the story the mind is telling. And most of that story is not being told with words. It's being told through assumptions, instincts, patterns. What you feel is not just about what is happening. It's about what your nervous system thinks it means. And that meaning is often borrowed from a past you never paused to question. Your body doesn't know the difference between a real threat and a remembered one. So when your thoughts carry fear, your body prepares for danger, even in a quiet room. The heart races, the muscles tense, the breath shortens, and suddenly you're in a war that isn't happening, except inside. We think we're reacting to life, but we're reacting to thought. This is why change feels hard, not because you don't know what to do, but because a deeper current is pulling you back to what feels familiar. You think you've made a new decision, but the emotion says otherwise. And that emotion isn't the enemy, it's the signal, a message from the inner world shaped by everything the mind still believes is true. Jesus said, "The eye is the lamp of the body." If your eye is clear, that is, if your perception is healed, your whole body will be full of light. But if your perception is darkened by fear, by distortion, then even your actions will carry that shadow. That's the deeper work, not to fix the emotion, but to see the lens through which it arises. Because every practical result in life, in your relationships, your work, your health, carries a signature, the signature of your emotional state. Your reactions write the atmosphere around you, not by force, but by frequency. We don't attract what we want, we attract what we live from. This is not a message of blame, it's a message of awakening. You are not your emotion, you are not your thought. You are the one who can watch both and return to what is real. And when Christ becomes that center, not as a belief, but as a presence, everything changes from the inside out, slowly, quietly, deeply. It's not about controlling how you feel, it's about understanding why you feel it. And from there, allowing something truer to emerge. Not the noise of the past, but the stillness of the kingdom within. That's the shift, from reaction to awareness, from chaos to calm, from illusion to light. Let's begin there, in the space where your emotions are not judged but seen, not silenced but heard, not feared but welcomed, as a path back to presence, back to truth, back to Christ within. There are moments when life feels blocked, like a door that won't open, no matter how hard you push. You try harder, think deeper, plan better, but still something invisible keeps you stuck. And that something is often not the situation, not the opportunity, not even your skill. It's the emotion behind your decision. Unseen, unquestioned, unfelt. You can have clarity in your goals and talent in your hands, but if you're moving from fear, your steps will be small. You'll hesitate where you should act, retreat where you could trust. Emotion is not just a feeling, it's the atmosphere your choices breathe in. If your emotional climate is heavy, every option will look distant. Every yes will feel unsafe. Think of your inner world like a soil. The seeds you plant, dreams, ideas, plans, cannot root in fear. They rot in anxiety. They freeze in shame. Emotions are not a detail, they are the ground. And when we don't care for this ground, we confuse bad luck with what's actually inner resistance. Our life doesn't fail, it reflects. Jesus once said that a tree is known by its fruit, and so are we. But what we forget is that fruit comes not only from the seed, but from the soil, the water, the light. Our inner climate is spiritual, it's emotional. You may believe the right things, say the right prayers, but if your emotions are shaped by the old story, the harvest will still taste bitter. What often holds us back is not a lack of faith, but a lack of safety. Not spiritual safety, but emotional grounding. If you feel shame, your nervous system will act as if you're not allowed to succeed. If you feel guilt, you'll sabotage joy. And if you carry the fear of not being enough, even love will feel dangerous. This is why the transformation must happen from within. Many of us live like houses built on sand, not because our foundation is weak in faith, but because it's cracked by emotional memories we never healed. We live with internal alarms that go off when we try to rise. A raised voice triggers your past. A delay feels like rejection. A compliment feels suspicious. And so we stay small, not by choice, but by emotion. The Apostle Paul wrote, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." But what renews the mind is not more thinking, it's awareness. It's the gentle act of seeing what you've been believing. And when Christ enters that space, the space between emotion and truth, something sacred happens. The storm doesn't vanish, but the sailor awakens. You'll start to notice how often you stop yourself without realizing, how often your dreams shrink to match your mood. It's not laziness, it's not failure, it's your emotional system trying to protect you based on a memory it never questioned. That's the hidden power of emotion. It predicts your future based on a past that no longer exists. The message of Jesus was not try harder. It was, come to me and I will give you rest. Rest is not passive. It's the return to your original center, where emotion is not denied but held with truth, where you stop reacting from the child who was scared and begin responding from the soul who is seen. So maybe the question is not, what do I want to achieve, but what emotion have I been carrying while I try? Because outcomes don't just reflect effort, they reflect energy. And when that energy is shaped by peace, not pressure, something new becomes possible. From the inside outward, quietly, deeply, with Christ at the center. There's a moment when all the insight in the world meets a simple decision. Will I live from emotion or from awareness? Not once, but again and again. Because even after understanding the roots of your inner storm, you'll still feel the wind. But now you can choose how you respond. Let your first step be noticing. Noticing what emotion is alive before you act, before the email is sent, before the yes is spoken, before the silence becomes distance. Don't ask, what should I do? Ask, what am I feeling right now, and what story is giving it weight? This question alone can change the direction of your day. The second step is space. Create one moment of quiet between the emotion and the action. Just one breath, one pause. Not to suppress what you feel, but to soften its grip. That space, however small, is where you meet Christ. Not as an idea, but as presence. A witness inside you who is not reactive, but rooted. Third, return. Return to that space throughout your day, in the car, between messages, before sleep. Let it become a rhythm, not a ritual. Christ is not waiting for perfection. He's waiting to be invited into what's real, into the emotion you don't understand yet, into the pattern you thought would never break. Return to Him again and again. I remember once standing at the sink washing a glass when a familiar wave of frustration rose in me, not from the moment, but from an old belief that I had to hold everything together. But instead of reacting, I whispered, "Lord, I feel it again." And I felt Him say, not in words, but in stillness, "You don't have to carry this alone." That moment passed, and so did the weight. Your emotions are not proof that you failed. They are invitations. Every surge of fear, every spike of shame, every silent ache is a place to meet Christ. Not to be rescued, but to be seen. To be grounded, to be reminded that peace is not the absence of feeling, but the presence of truth. You don't need to fix everything right now. Let that sink in. What you need is permission to be where you are and to walk this gently. To trust that emotional healing is not a straight line, it's a spiral in return. And each time you return with Christ at the center, something softens that used to scream. This channel exists for that return, not to preach, but to walk with you, slowly, quietly, honestly. If something in your heart said yes while listening, stay. Subscribe, not out of duty, but desire. This is not a platform, it's a path, and you don't have to walk it alone. Let this be a breath, not of ending, but of permission, to pause, to feel, to begin again. If you carry something heavy, may this space remind you, you are not the weight. You are the one who is waking up beneath it. May God bless you deeply, and may you walk awake with Christ at the center.